Hi everybody, it's Grace. Welcome to December when this video is being done. And it's really funny. My house is so crowded. There's knocks on the door. There's people coming and going. So here I am. Instead of in my kitchen, I'm in my little bedroom. I'm making the video today anyway, because that's what's at the heart of it, is sharing what's true, what's real, and what's accessible to us in every given moment. What I wanted to speak to directly related that today is the sense of the access to peace that seems to be completely absent when you're in the throes of compulsive movement. So we're talking about eating a drive to consume, to get something and have it fill us. And just like that incredible urge that's overwhelming. If you're like me and you have been someone who's binge eaten, you have it in an even stronger, like very fiery, intense format. But if you're somebody who just does graze eating and continues to eat and eats things that aren't really of nutritional value, and maybe just you're putting something in your mouth and you're busy and you're staying active and you're doing that, you've kind of got this milder compulsive movement that feels more like wind blowing and not stopping, or a noise happening that isn't coming to rest. Both of them can be very painful. Even the intense rage at starvation of yourself. You actually feel hungry, but you're refusing to eat. It has another sensation, another quality of movement, but it's got a very brittle, very intense, very dark, very explosive, kind of wall building kind of energy. And the thing is about any of these things that feel so uncomfortable, this movement that we're calling compulsion, addiction, grabbing, reaching, avoiding, any of that, we will also have the idea on top of it, at least I always used to, of this has got to stop. I have to stop this. It is fundamental. It is imperative that this stop. I have to destroy it. I have to be against it. I must make rules and regulations to make sure this is over and it never returns again. And the thing is, that saying, resistance is futile, is from Star Trek. Resistance is futile. What you resist persists. And I'm talking about actual compulsive energy. How strange to consider that my resistance to that sort of energy, to craving, to wanting, to grabbing, that would actually fuel it to make it feel alive and continue to go. It's very subtle, though. You can cross this middle place of resignation. Oh, letting it be the way it is. Okay, I can just let it dominate and take over. All right, I'm on a binge, whatever. Who cares? I'm starting to eat. It doesn't matter. That's moving across the center of balance, the middle way path. That's falling over into the other side, which can happen in the second of an eye blink. The way the mind works. Resignation or a drive to get this to be over. And you're kind of staying in this compulsive cycle, wherever you are on that circle. Resignation, it's hopeless. No, I'm going to try again. Now I'm going to be against it. Now I'm going to rebel and start to eat anyway, or do my thing, reach for the thing that I want. I'm going to go smoke anyway. And then it keeps in that cycle, moving around and around and around, never to get off of it, never to get off of it. So consider today just the very simple idea that as I resist something, I might be giving it more energy. So letting it be there, almost like if you had a family of relatives and they were driving you nuts. And oh, it's so awful every time Uncle George comes over or Aunt Matilda. I wind up eating. Let them come into the room. What if you let them be there? What if you actually turned towards this energy that seems to want to consume and escape, and looked at it as if it's offering you something, offering some kind of insight that you might be missing because of what you do to attack it. So one exercise that I love doing with people in Eating Peace is to actually give the consumer part of themselves a name, a picture. They might appear as an entity, see what kind of gender they are. They might have some different costumes that they put on from time to time, depending on what kind of mood or where you are with your consumption or your compulsive behavior. But let them be their own person that you're going to actually have a conversation with. And talk to them, remembering this is not about the substance that you are wanting to consume. This has got nothing to do with that. That's just being itself over there. Food, tobacco, alcohol, an activity, some sort of driven activity that you do. We all know that those can be very, very addictive as well. So just leave that alone. We're not going to look at, what the thing is. Oh my God, I need to now do all this stuff with my diet and make sure to plan this and that and the other thing and get this stuff out of the cupboard and that stuff in the cupboard and all the amazing ways the mind can come in to organize something. We're not going to worry about that. There's a place for that can be interesting and helpful, but that's not the deepest support I have found. That's always sort of a band-aid on top of this, a way to solve all the emotional pieces and parts because you don't know where else to go. Let's take a look and have a conversation and explore with the one who wants to eat. And the exercise that I like to suggest is writing a script as if you are a playwright. You're writing a movie. You're going to show what happens. There's this character, and they are looking like this, and they're the ones that have a voice that is talking about just get this over with and start eating. Just do that. And like I said, they might have different clothing and different costume depending on what's going on and what kind of scene or environment you're in. But have a talk with them. Have a talk with the compulsive one. Get to know it. If it is not about the actual food, what do they have to say? What kind of feelings do they want to express that maybe you're trying to avoid or push down? And if there was another way to respond to that feeling, if you're really afraid, if you feel very angry, which is fear in disguise for me almost every time, if you feel sad, disturbed, or troubled in any way, what are they trying to have you see? What would they like you to be aware of? And is there another way you can get that need met or you can express that feeling without having to eat? Because there always is. There's actually a better, more interesting, more exciting, maybe even better isn't the word to use because that starts doing the little comparison thing, but it's a way that is more satisfying, more interesting. The only reason you have opposition to this sense of eating and compulsive behavior and this addictive process is because part of it isn't working. If it worked really purely, beautifully well, 100%, helped you forget your feelings and, change the channel and fix all your problems, then you wouldn't be so against it. It's got these terrible repercussions, these things that are missing something. Maybe you're not letting some part of you speak and have it say. I love the beautiful Rumi poem called Guest House. And in that poem, Rumi is speaking to allowing everyone to come visit. Even the terrible, difficult, problem, painful voices, the difficult, terrible, violent ones that will sweep you clean of everything you ever thought you were. Allow them to come in, allow them to visit. Maybe that's what's happening when you're in the midst of compulsive energy. Just remember, it's not about the substance or the thing you are reaching for. It's got nothing to do with that. That fits into a cog in the pattern of the wheel, but it's not really what you want. So how about give a voice to that one who feels so compulsive? Listen to her or him. Listen. Have a conversation. Sit, and that's the way you can write in your journal today. Writing a script. You talking to then the compulsive voice, and go back and forth. Just do it for at least 10 minutes. See what happens.